Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming out. Guys, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate all your support. We're hanging in there together. Where we go one, we go all. Look, I want to show you guys how completely corrupt Mike Pence really is, okay? These people love war so much because they make so much money on it that they think that they can convince the American people that we should be going to war, we should be helping Ukraine. I don't care how technical they try to sound. I don't care how technical they try to get with their points. War is war, okay? When Trump says he wants to stop the war in 24 hours, that's the best possible thing we could possibly do. That's it. There's no better idea. There's just no better idea. We ain't got nothing to do with Russia. If you take a look at California, Chicago, there's war on the streets right now that we should be fixing and pouring money into our own streets. So anybody talking about, it's a good idea for Ukraine, it's a good idea to help them. And look, you've been brainwashed. You've been, I don't know what else to tell you. You've been brainwashed, okay? You don't see the devastation in our own country right now. You're looking at another country. You can't even spell the Ukraine, but you want to help them. I just want to show you how corrupt these people are, man.
Policy challenge for the next president, whoever it is, has to do with Ukraine and Russia. I want to play a clip from your former boss from an interview. This is how he said he would handle Putin's and how he would resolve the conflict in Ukraine when it comes to Russia's invasion, illegal war against the Ukrainian people. Take a listen.
I would get him into a room, I'd get Zelensky into a room, then I'd bring them together and I'd have a deal worked out. I would get a deal worked out.
I mean, bringing Putin into a room, bringing Zelensky in a room, I would have...
See how stupid they try to make Trump sound? Like, does that sound like a really bad idea to you? Like, these people they're trying to keep a war going. They want to use your money to pay for it. Like, do you understand how expensive things will get in the United States of America? We keep on funding the war in Ukraine. Just watch how ridiculous these guys sound, man.
Have a deal worked out. Do you consider that a serious answer to the question of how to end this war?
Look, the only way this war would end in a day, as my former running mate says, if you let Vladimir Putin have what he wants, which frankly...
Did he say former running mate? Former running mate. Like, does he is he in on trying to get Trump arrested?
Other candidates for the Republican nomination are advocating as well. Look, I want to be clear. I think Joe Biden's done a terrible job explaining our national interest in giving Ukraine what they need to repel that Russian invasion. Look, I mean, it's not about these gauzy speeches that President Biden gives about democracy. It's that I know that if Vladimir Putin overruns Ukraine, it will not be long, Jake, before he crosses the border of a country where our men and women in uniform will be required to fight.
Oh, now our men and women are going to see what I'm saying? See how they're trying to twist this up? No, guess what? If we end the war in 24 hours, nobody will have to fight. Whatever Vladimir Putin wants to do with Ukraine, let Vladimir Putin do with Ukraine. We shouldn't have anything to do with it. The average American feels the same way. All these warmongers are just making money on the war, like Lindsey Graham. Had a nerve to say this is the best money he's ever spent watching Russians are dying. Like, who says that? These guys are beta males, okay? They want to keep us in a proxy war for as long as they possibly can. I mean, ask yourself, is that what you want? No. It's not what I want for my family. No, American troops do not have to go to war. And they think you're stupid enough to go along with it. These people are crazy, man.
Under Article 5 in the NATO treaty. So I stand on that old Reagan doctrine that if you're willing to fight our enemies with your soldiers on your soil, we'll give you the means to fight them there so we don't have to fight them.
So you've been courting evangelical voters this weekend, emphasizing your faith and your values. This comes at the same time as a profile has appeared in The Atlantic, where Republican Senator Mitt Romney is quoted saying that when it came to your actions as Donald Trump's vice president, nobody had been, quote, more willing to smile when he saw absurdities, more willing to ascribe God's will to things that were ungodly than Mike Pence, unquote. What do you say to that? Do you think that you used your faith to justify ungodly things as vice president, as Mitt Romney believes?
You know, when that phone rang in 2016, my wife and I went to prayer about the invitation to join the national ticket. I believe we were called to serve, and I'm incredibly proud of the record of the Trump-Pence administration. And in just those 4 short years, we rebuilt our military, revived our economy, and appointed 3.
Yeah, why are they rebuilding the military? I mean, why does Mike Pence want to rebuild the military? I'm telling you, it's not the same reason that Trump wants to rebuild the military. If I had to take a wild guess, I believe that Trump wants to rebuild the military to defend us against enemies, foreign and domestic, not to go and start a war, not to be a part of something that the average American people don't agree with. The purpose of having arms and the purpose of putting money into our military should only be for defense. We shouldn't be going on offense with anybody. There's too many nuclear weapons out there. They just think the average American people are stupid. They get us on this war every time. People have to start waking up and talking about this stuff, man. These people, we can't let it. I don't care how Christian he's saying he is. I'm simply not buying it. I'm not buying it because Mike Pence is a warmonger, period. Flat out. Lindsey Graham is a warmonger. Okay? These people, there's a whole group of them that really want to just keep funding wars and trying to convince you that we're doing it to help Ukraine because Ukraine is being under attack. Look, we ain't got nothing to do with it. Won't have anything to do with that. Let them settle their differences like men over there. It's a long way away from us, man. But Chicago, California, Baltimore, New York, that's right here. But like Mike Pence said, that's not his concern. Okay? That should tell you everything you need to know.
3 conservatives to our courts that gave us a new beginning for the right to life. Look, Mitt Romney has no idea what I was doing in the administration. I haven't talked to Mitt Romney for years, and I think he can go off into retirement. I know he was even critical of his old running mate Paul Ryan in the pages of that book. So I know the stands that we took. I know the stands that we maintained, and I'll always believe that we were called to that fight. And I believe in this moment that my family's called now.
Bro, in my opinion, Pence is a fake. Pence the Menace is a fake, bro. He's a fake. He never was for us, man. He never was for the country, the real people of America, the ones that are struggling. He's not for you guys. He's not for us. Okay? His foreign policy on this Ukraine war says it all. Nikki Haley, it says it all. Krispy Kreme, it says it all. These people want you to take us to war. They're making tons of dollars on it. I mean, it's just unreal. What other purpose do we have there? Who believes anything these people say, man?
Now to step forward here in Iowa.
On Capitol Hill right now, Speaker McCarthy is struggling to unite House Republicans behind a plan to avert a government shutdown. He's facing a revolt by some more conservative members of his conference who are demanding major concessions when it comes to spending, threatening to oust him as Speaker if he does not comply. Do you think that the House Freedom Caucus should hold the line and keep pushing McCarthy, even if it means
I can answer that. Yeah, freedom fighters. Yeah, he sees them probably as a bunch of little worms that are standing in the way of their propaganda and their warmongering. I guarantee you.
Government shutdown, or do you think a shutdown would be a mistake?
Look, I think House conservatives are the last line of defense for taxpayers in Washington, D.C., and I strongly support their effort to stand firm and demand the kind of budget cuts necessary to make a small down payment on fiscal responsibility and reform. You remember back in the day, Jake, after Hurricane Katrina, I led the effort. We stood firm We demanded the offsets, and that was the last time that there was major deficit reduction actually in Washington, D.C. I think they should stand firm. They should get as much as they possibly can. But at the end of the day, we're still talking about nickels and dimes, Jake. We've got to have leadership in the White House, different than Joe Biden, whose policy is insolvency, different than Donald Trump, whose position is exactly the same as Joe Biden. We can't have people in the White House that ignore that.
How is Trump's position the same as Joe Biden, bro? Joe Biden is taking us into a proxy war. Trump was president for 4 years, never took us to war, bro. What is this man talking about? That's why he can never be the president. Because he's lying on TV. Okay? As a Christian man, he's lying. Don't vote for this guy. I'm not voting for this man. Ever. I would never put him in office. He's too weak. He's very weak. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Should we be going to war with Ukraine? I mean, in my opinion, absolutely not. We should never be going to war. Not unless it's to defend our country. Okay? That's the only time we should ever be going to war. I want y'all to understand that. That's the only time we should ever be going to war. Just like when you carry your firearm, you're not looking for people to shoot, okay? You're not looking for a reason to shoot people. It's only to let the bad guy know that you'll bust his ass if you have to. Period. So he knows where we stand. That we won't tolerate you running amok all over somebody. Not around here. That's the same policy that we need foreign. That same foreign policy we need, okay? You never start a fight. You don't get involved with it in instigating somebody else's fight, especially paying for their wars. How do you justify that? How do you talk to the American people about where their money's going? How do you make that very clear? How do we know for sure that this is the right thing to do, or that you're actually doing that with our tax dollars? No, they think we're stupid. You got to figure this one out on your own. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.